You remember Mil Máscaras, right? We all used to get together at people's houses and we talk about the matches and the lucha libre and all the wrestlers that would come together, and we'd eat popcorn and we'd play around with our friends at our neighbors' houses because we love lucha libre. I like to say that Mil Máscaras is kind of like a Latino superhero when we were growing up. And as this new Avengers movie was coming up, I was thinking like, hey, let's talk about Mil Máscaras and perhaps how maybe it would be really cool, like if there could be like a Latino superhero. And I love going to the movies. I go to the movies all the time. And I wanted to bring up the topic of the conversation to ask you guys whether you think there should be a Latino superhero. We go and we see them, and we see them from all different kinds of backgrounds, different actors and stuff. And I'm thinking like, hey, why not have a Latino superhero? The Black Panther just came out, which was an excellent film. Loved that movie. And it represented the African American community in a great way. Loved that movie. And I was thinking to myself, why don't we have a Latino superhero on the film? And like an extremely famous superhero. What's real interesting is that the number of Latinos going to the movies and supporting these films has been like incredibly huge. And the number of Latinos that go to these movies is growing all the time. So why not, Hollywood? Why not have a superhero with the Latin background in your face? I'm thinking like that would be really cool. I'd like to see that. I come to this theater downtown. I'm in Denver today, and this is one of my favorite theaters. And it's actually called the Mayan Theater. And it has all kinds of like really cool Mayan stuff. And it's just so awesome because I just feel really connected to it because it just connects me to my Latin culture. But I'm asking you guys, do you think there should be an extremely famous Latin superhero? I think so. I think it'd be really cool because I go to the movies all the time. I don't go just because there are certain people from certain backgrounds. I go because of the topics and because I love to escape and I love to go to the movies. So I'm just asking you guys if maybe you're thinking that you would like to see a Latin superhero, and if you would, if you think so, please comment on here and let me know if you think like that would be really cool. A funny story about this particular theater is that I actually came here one time and I like jalapenos so much that I actually snuck them inside in my pocket because I like to eat jalapenos. That's how Latino I am. I know, I would sneak some other stuff in there too because it's cheaper. But anyhow, the whole idea, the Avengers movie coming out this week, I'm going to go watch it. I love to go to the movies. I go all the time, and I like to watch them on Netflix and in different places. But I was just thinking, like, it would be really super cool if there could be, like, a Latino superhero. Are you going to be going to the movies this weekend? Are you going to check them out? Will you be watching them on Netflix? I'd love to hear your comments there because I just think it's such a topic that is so worth discussing. And if we could see that, I think it'd be such a great deal for our kids to see these types of role models. And if we talk to Hollywood and we let Hollywood know that we're out here, I just think that would just be so very awesome to see that. Wonder what your thoughts are. Throughout the day, I'll be checking out the comments and I'll be answering them and responding to all of your thoughts. I'd also like to know what your fondest memories are of Mil Máscaras. It was so funny when I was a kid. I remember talking to my neighbors and I'd tell them, that's not real. They're just playing. He's faking that. And we would get into big old arguments about lucha libre. It used to come out like on Saturday nights. And you can watch the reruns still and whatnot. But it was fun to see Mil Máscaras come out there and they'd fall on the pavement. And you'd see them just it would be such great entertainment. And the minute I would tell my neighbors that it wasn't real, they would actually make me go home. They would not allow me to stay because I was messing up the whole thing. I mean, they'd get into it and they'd scream and they'd yell. Of course, we'd be eating tacos and all kinds of food. It was so much fun. It was so much entertainment. So if you guys please could just leave your comments and let me know if you like this video, because I'll be doing more of them to kind of bring out the whole idea of Latinos in our culture. It's a passion of mine to go around the city of Denver and into different cities and to talk about our Latino culture because it's so much fun. We have so much fun doing different kinds of things. So let me know what you're thinking. I'm going to watch the Avengers movie. If you go and you get to see it this weekend, Please let me know what you're thinking. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. I'm hoping you guys have a great Friday. I'm going to be going around town. I love chasing food trucks a lot, so I'm also going to be looking for them. So I hope you have a great day. Have a great weekend. This video will be up for a while, so please leave your comments and your fond memories of growing up and watching all the Mil Máscaras and all the wrestling matches. And tell me what your thoughts are, because it was Laura Trevino says, Mil Máscaras? I wasn't born yet. Okay, Laura, so let me back up a little bit. Mil Máscaras was this wrestler. He'd come out and he put a mask on, and it was just so much fun to watch that. I'm dating myself, aren't I? That's hilarious. Well, it was a wrestling guy, and he was from Mexico, and it was like huge entertainment on the weekends for us to watch this. And basically, he'd come out, and everybody, we'd go to school, we'd wear our Mil Máscaras masks, and we'd do all kinds of things. So I'm just laughing. That's a great comment. Laura, thank you for bringing that up and reminding me of how old I am. That's awesome. But these lucha libre, the wrestling matches, still exist in town. I'm going to see if I can find one here in Denver. If you'd like for me to go to one of those, let me know, because I think it'd be so much fun. I think I saw one somewhere, and I need to go and kind of see what they're doing and have some fun with that. Just some really fun stuff about our culture that's out there. And I also like chasing taco trucks. I'm going to learn how to make tortillas, talk about why tortillas are so hard to make. And I also love telling ghost stories. I'm a storyteller here in Denver, and I've been telling stories for a long time. And as I like to say, every day as a reporter, I actually see a lot of bad stuff. And this is my way of getting away from that and telling some of the funner stories. I actually heard of a brewer here in town that is actually making a Mexican craft beer. I'm going to talk to him about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. It is just so much fun. Plus, if I go talk to that guy who's making Mexican craft beer, I might be able to taste 2 or 3 or 6 or 12 or something like that. To me, it's just a lot of fun, especially Mexican food. Anything Chicano, anything Latino. I love talking about this stuff. This is a wonderful platform for us to talk about our culture, for you to bring up the topics that you want to hear about. You asked me a lot of questions, and I'm so glad to address those, especially about public speaking. Maybe you're going to go interview for a job, and you want to ask a question about how perhaps to conduct to be a good interviewee, those types of things. So please let me know what your questions are. I'd love to try to help in any way possible, because it is a lot of fun for me. Homer Elizondo, you get the star of the day. Is it wise to wear an Astro cap in the Mile High City? So I'm originally from Texas. I spent a lot of time in Houston and have a lot of friends there. I also have a lot of Colorado caps. I wore this one today because I try not to wear the same cap every day, but you raise a good point. I'm just showing my true roots. And it's interesting because when I wear this cap around town, a lot of people ask me about the Houston Astros, the champion Astros, by the way. I'm also a Rockies fan. I haven't been to a game yet. I'm trying to get one. I just love wearing like baseball caps and jerseys and stuff like that. The funny thing is, I'm a terrible athlete. I was never good at athletes. I was never really good at baseball. I was never really good at football, but I like messing with people who are in the sport. So it's just a lot of fun for me. The Astros cap, I just love it. I have a couple of them actually, and I have a bunch of Colorado caps that I'm collecting, and I'll be talking about those as well. So Mr. Elizondo, thank you very much for that question. I love it. Vincent, hey, we have the same name. Love, no, Homer. Sorry, I was thinking Vincent. I saw that under the screen there. Homer, Elizondo, thank you so much for that. And Maria Cantu, thank you so much for watching as well. Loving having a great time talking about all things Latino in this culture. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to go around and talk about the different things that I see in the city. Christine Silva, thank you so very much for watching. If you have a question this morning, please let me know. And I also invite you to like my personal page, Vicente Arenas. And the reason I ask you to do this is because you can send me messages there, you can send me messages here, and eventually I'd like to share the screen so we can have different, so I can bring you up and we can talk side by side and have a conversation about the different things in the Latino culture. So I'm hoping you're having a good day so far. The reason I brought this up, I'm standing in front of the Maya Mayan Theater here in right close to downtown Denver, and I wanted to talk about the movies because there's a big movie opening up this weekend, an Avenger movie, and I wanted to ask you the question as to whether you thought that we should have an extremely famous Latino superhero. I would like to see that. I'll go to the movies anyway just because I'm a big movie buff, but I'd like to see like a real Latino superhero come out, and mainly because we're such a huge growing population in this country, and I would love to see that hero come out and represent us in just such a positive way. And because our population is growing so much, we're going to the movies in big numbers. We should let Hollywood know this, the movie producers, wherever they are in Louisiana and different states across the country, that we want to be represented. We want to see a Latino superhero. Christina Silva, thank you for saying yes. I just think there's a lot of people who would like to see a Latino superhero. I don't know, we should also have a contest. What should the Latino superhero be called? Perhaps, what do you think the costume should be? What should it look like? I think that we should give Hollywood our thoughts about that in terms of, let's maybe like a little online vote thing, and we can send the message to them and let them know that we're out here and we're going to the movies in big numbers. The statistics are there to prove it, because we like going to the movies too. I mean, I remember as a kid growing up in my hometown of Kennedy, I loved going to the movies. We only had one theater. It was a Rialto theater. It's no longer open, and it's kind of sad because in my small hometown there was only one theater. There's not even a movie theater there. We'd have to drive to San Antonio an hour away to go to the movies, and perhaps that's why I'm so fascinated these days about going to the movies. Here in Denver, what's really cool is that there are actually Latino theaters, and I'll try to get to some of those too and show you some of those where they show specifically films in Spanish. Now, I speak both languages, but I like watching foreign films, whether it's in Spanish. I also like watching Korean movies and Japanese movies in different languages. I have no problems. The subtitles, I like to read them. I like to hear people speaking in their own native language. So please let me know if you have questions throughout the day. I'll be answering them throughout the weekend since the movie's opening up this weekend. But the big question is for Hollywood, for my friends in Los Angeles, Houston, right here in Denver, would you like to see an extremely famous superhero? My answer all along has been that yes, we should have a Latino superhero. I don't know what we'd call them, but you know how we give everybody nicknames in our community. We should also give the Latino superhero a name. Luis Hernandez, superhero El Jefe. 2 thumbs up. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez, for saying that El Jefe, the boss, the man in charge. That would be so cool. Let me hear the rest of your comments. I know that some of you are sometimes afraid to be commenting on here because you're afraid of what I always like to call el cucuy. El cucuy. The cucuy is this imaginary fear that we have. What are they going to say? My comment's going to be too crazy. No, this is a conversation as if though we're sitting around having a little cafecito. So yeah. Come up with those names. Maria Cantu's asking me if I remember the drive-in by Smolek's. I think it's a sausage house down in Karnes County. I do remember. How many of you guys remember when there used to be drive-ins where the cars would drive up in front of a large screen and you'd actually sit in your car and you would sit there and you'd hook a little speaker on your window? Those were the awesome times. There are still a few drive-ins around. I'm such a movie buff that I would actually go to one of those. We'd all sit in the car and we'd bring our own popcorn and we'd sit there and we'd roll down the windows. I just remember it was being so hot because it was hot in South Texas. At least it was at night because it was a drive-in. There would be a theater in the background. But yes, Maria, thank you so much for bringing that up. Again, asking you for what you think a good name might be for a Latino superhero. So far we have El Jefe. That would be awesome. And we've got just some spectacular masks already. I'm going to see if I can find some kind of masks around down. Maria Cantu says El Santo. That would be another one. So we have El Santo, El Jefe. If I get off of this broadcast before, before this ends, keep leaving those comments because at the end, I want to follow back up with you guys and give you a winner. We got a ambulance coming down the street here. Sorry for that pause there. But yeah, I love El Santo. I think that would be absolutely awesome. El Jefe. And I think we could just offer to Hollywood a number of suggestions and names, and even have like a costume contest, because you know we can make some good costumes. El Cucuy. I don't know. I'm going to vote for El Cucuy. I don't know. I just like that name because it's such a fun thing to talk about. Well, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up for now. I really enjoyed having the... mira. Christina Silva says, El Chicano. I love talking about Chicanos because the Chicano culture is so awesome, and I wonder what the costume would be like for El Chicano. So we had 3 good names so far. Keep adding them along here. Let's let Hollywood know, movie producers know, that we go to the films in big numbers, to the films. My English is running out. We go to the movies in big numbers. So let me know what you're thinking might be a good film in terms of what it might be called, or what the costume might look like to represent us all in such a fun way. El Pachuco. That's another cool one. El Pachuco, the Lowriders. I mean, we have all kinds of fun names. Why is it that we love to so often give everybody nicknames in our hometowns? I mean, in my hometown, we had all kinds of nicknames, and I've talked about this before, that there are people in my hometown who I don't even know what their real name is. So there's no doubt that we have a great way to come up with nicknames. Laura, thank you for that one. The Good Hombre. El Hombre Bueno, the Good Hombre. I like that one too. See, these are all out there. And I think people across the country would help identify with why we should have a famous superhero interjected into the Avenger films. And unless we ask for it, we're not going to get it. We should demand it. We're going to the movies in big numbers. I think that it would be just so awesome that if we just got together and just said, hey, Hollywood, we want to see a Latino superhero. Come on now, you can do it. Don't be scared of El Cucuy. It's not going to get you. And guess what? We're going to the movies in big numbers. So Hollywood, let's see it. Let's get together and challenge the movie makers and the filmmakers to hear us that we're out here, that we would love to see a Latino superhero. That's going to be it for now. I got to run along and take care of some other things, but thank you so much for your time. Continue leaving your comments. Like this video if you like it. Offer suggestions about different things you would like to see about our culture. I'm living in Denver now, and this is just a playground for me because this gives me a chance to get to know the neighborhoods in Denver, and I get to learn the people here. It gives me great story ideas for my reporting over at Fox 31. So I'm looking forward to hearing what your ideas are. I'm looking forward to your comments. Thank you so much for taking the time out to listen to this Facebook Live, and I'll be coming up with some other fun stuff that I've seen around town that I also want to post here on Facebook and also on my Google channel, my YouTube channel. All right, take care. Adios. Until next time, you guys have a good day. Take care now.